Chapter 11. Establishing a stronghold. Akira's trust in the goblins had grown considerably. He decided to further utilize their capabilities for more complex tasks. He called one of the goblins and instructed it to find a sturdy stick that could be used as a handle. The goblin, eager to please, rushed towards the firewood stockpile. After searching for a while and not finding a suitable stick, it went to a nearby tree and broke off a thick branch. Meanwhile, Akira emptied his spatial bag of all the iron ore he had collected. He began the laborious process of refining the raw iron. This task demanded a great deal of time and concentration, and while the goblins attempted to mimic his actions, they lacked the necessary crafting skills and mana manipulation abilities. Once he had a usable piece of iron, Akira fashioned it into an axe blade. He then crafted an axe using the tree branch as the handle. He handed the axe to one of the goblins and instructed it to chop down a few trees and bring the timber inside the newly built wall. He assigned 3 goblins to the task. One would chop the trees, and the other 2 would transport the logs back to the house. With the goblins diligently working, Akira led the 4th goblin to the river. He recreated the fish-trapping maze he had devised before and instructed the goblin to only gather enough fish as needed. The goblin, now equipped with a small knife, had already learned how to gut and cook the fish. Next on Akira's agenda was to differentiate his goblins from wild ones. He needed to get them proper clothing. Akira made a quick trip to the city, avoiding any unnecessary detours. Upon his return, he found that the goblins had already brought 3 large logs and stored them neatly. He began inspecting the broken furniture within the house, dragging it all outside. He called the goblins together, handing each of them a shirt, pants, and boots. "Put these on," he instructed, "and bring all the broken furniture out of the house." The goblins obeyed, and while they did so, Akira repaired as much of the furniture as he could. The irreparable pieces were set aside as firewood. After a brief lunch break, where the goblins gratefully ate their meal, Akira transformed the logs into longboards. Using these, he constructed a dining table, several chairs, and a small round table. Additionally, he made 2 large cupboards and 3 smaller ones. The house layout was coming together in his mind. The large open area on the right would be the living room, while the room on the left would serve as a private living area for guests. Adjacent to the living room was a guest bedroom with an attached bathroom. Next to the private living room, there was also a staircase leading to the first floor next to the dining area, which connected to the kitchen, and a hallway leading to the back door and lawn. On the first floor, a large room above the private guest living room would become Akira's crafting space. 3 small bedrooms above the kitchen and dining area, likely intended for servants. The largest bedroom, above the guest bedroom, and with an attached bathroom, would be Akira's. Every room had a fireplace, and a small washroom was centrally located for the servants' use. Akira directed the goblins to place the furniture where it belonged. As night fell, he instructed the goblins to take turns standing guard. Satisfied with the day's progress, Akira retired to his room and slept soundly. The following morning, Akira woke to the sound of goblins hard at work. He went down to the campfire, where the goblins were already cooking breakfast for him. After eating, he instructed the goblins to continue bringing logs and fishing. He completed his morning workout, then turned his attention to the gate. Akira crafted strong iron bars, melding them together to form an iron gate. He created hinges and began making small spikes for the wall. When he ran out of iron, he climbed the wall and began embedding the spikes into it, ensuring they were a seamless part of the structure. Once the wall and spikes were secure, Akira and the goblins installed the gate. He then replaced the wooden door of the house and created a new doorway facing the river, adding a door there as well. His next project was constructing a shelter for the goblins. Using the logs, he built a sturdy structure in the back lawn, complete with 4 walls and a roof. For bedding, he decided hay would suffice. Akira's house was on the road leading to the city of Concordia, and passers-by often saw the goblins working diligently. Rumors began to spread about a powerful summoner or monster tamer residing there. Before heading to the city again, Akira crafted a few weapons for the goblins from leftover spikes. He made 2 swords and 2 daggers, instructing the goblins to use them only if someone or something tried to forcefully enter the property. Disguised in his mask and robe, Akira went to the city to buy hay and some meat, weary of a fish-only diet. While he was away, an unexpected event occurred. As the goblins chopped wood, they heard frantic footsteps. A man, covered in claw marks and appearing to be in his 40s, came running towards them. Seeing the goblins, he ran past them, pursued by 2 wolves. The goblins, recognizing the danger, drew their weapons to defend the man. The wolves attacked. One lunged at the leader goblin, who sidestepped and decapitated it with a swift sword strike. The other 2 goblins struggled with the second wolf. It pinned one goblin down, but the goblin managed to fend off its jaws with a sword. The second goblin then drove a dagger into the wolf's head, killing it. The man, realizing the goblins were tamed and seeing their clothing and weapons, fainted from exhaustion. The goblins carried the wolves' corpses and the man inside the house's walls, awaiting Akira's return. When Akira arrived at his newly fortified home, he noticed the goblin on guard duty. The goblin spotted Akira and quickly opened the gate, revealing its anxious expression. Akira's eyes were immediately drawn to the bloodstains on the goblin's clothes, a sight that filled him with worry. Hastening inside, he saw an old man lying beside the campfire, barely clinging to life. Initially, Akira feared that the goblins had attacked the man. However, the presence of 2 wolf corpses nearby and the claw marks on the man's body told a different story. Understanding dawned on him. The goblins, who couldn't speak, did their best to explain through gestures and reenactments what had transpired. Their frantic miming confirmed Akira's suspicions. They had saved the man from a wolf attack. Akira rushed to the old man's side, lifting his head gently. He retrieved a health potion from his bag and administered it to the man, who coughed but soon began to breathe normally. Akira then used his limited light magic to heal the man's wounds, the soft glow of his mana knitting the flesh back together. The man, dressed in the clothes of a butler, seemed to be a servant of some noble house. After stabilizing the old man's condition, Akira picked him up and carried him to the guest room, laying him on the bed. He turned to the goblins and with a smile told them, "You did a good job." The goblins' faces lit up with happiness at his praise. As darkness began to fall, Akira turned his attention to the wolf corpses. He meticulously gutted and skinned them, using the meat to prepare dinner for everyone. The savory smell of roasting meat filled the air as Akira worked. He then went to the goblin's hut and took out a large amount of hay from his spatial bag, spreading it out to provide them with comfortable bedding. No longer would they have to sleep on the bare ground. Satisfied with the day's work, Akira retreated to his own room. As he lay down, he felt a sense of accomplishment. The goblins, following his instructions, took turns keeping watch throughout the night. Their loyalty and diligence were proving invaluable.